Hello, it's Andrew. When I started using road tubeless tires several months ago, I used the Muc-Off no puncture as the tubeless sealant inside the tires. I've got about 2,000 miles on them, and I wanted to provide some thoughts on it. I've stopped using it for a couple of reasons. One reason is that while it worked okay for smaller holes, it didn't work as well as I wanted it to for some of the larger holes. And that's inconsistent with their own, the things that are claimed on the back here, where it says it'll do up to 6 millimeters, or, support holes that are, I'll zoom in on that so you can all see, holes up to 6 millimeters. And that is not consistent with what I found. Not whether or not other sealants that also claim 6 millimeters can seal that or can't seal that. I don't know. I've switched to a different sealant. I haven't had the opportunity to have a larger puncture yet. So that's one of the things that I'll be evaluating the other sealant for, is whether or not it can live up to the claims that it makes. But in this case, Muc-Off does not. But the second reason why is because over time, so if you're unfamiliar with how you maintain tubeless tires, you put 30 to 40 milliliters of the sealant in the tube, or the tire, sorry, and then eventually it dries out after a couple months, or you get a puncture and it spits out, and then you have to put more in there. And so you kind of have this process where you are constantly adding more sealant as the sealant either dries up or goes away because you have a puncture. That's made a lot easier for me because I use the Muc-It system, where you can use their tool. I have a video about this. You just kind of like stick it in the tire when it's low pressure, and you can pull out the sealant, see how much in there. You can add sealant and all that other stuff. So that makes it really easier. But because the Muc-Off has, let's zoom in here, all of these little like granules of stuff, what ends up happening is that the granules of stuff tend to build up around the valve, and eventually it makes it so that you get so much of that black crud in the tire that you have to take the tire off to clean it anyway. I mean, you might end up having to do that with some of the other sealants, but they don't have that crud, and that crud doesn't really add value, as far as I can tell, to the experience. It just adds hassle to the experience. So I haven't found that. I mean, other sealants do have particles in them. They just don't seem to be that large. And they also don't tend to, or haven't found, in my experience with one other sealant that I've used, I haven't found that they've clogged up the tire and the valve and all that other stuff the same way that this does. So I guess it's one of those things, you can take it for what it's worth. This probably works better, or it might work better, I don't know, with tubeless tires that aren't road specific. So like a mountain bike tire or a large volume gravel tire or something. But, I mean, just for the record, this is suitable for road. It doesn't want to focus here. Road. So it's not like this is something that I'm, making up or whatever. It should work in this scenario. But I haven't found that it does work as well as I want it to. So this goes in the closet. Probably use it as backup sealant in the future, just in case when I run out of something else, or if I find out that the other stuff that I'm using is no better than this, because there's still quite a bit of that left. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the Muc-Off no puncture tubeless sealant. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this useful. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments or whatever, leave it below and I'll do my best to respond. Thanks.